That's what we're talking about. Let me give you an example. 3 sessions of Parliament ago, maybe I should say 2 because we really haven't had one. 3 sessions of Parliament ago, an entire session of Parliament, one whole session of Parliament was given over by this country to discussing the fight between the brothers Ambani. Nothing else happened in that session. Second, in July 2009, the government of Dr. Manmohan Singh, UPA 1, was in danger of falling. There was a trust vote. The 2 Ambani brothers organized the voting and kept that government alive. The Prime Minister called both of them to his office. Why should a Prime Minister be intervening in a family dispute is beyond me. But what happened as a result of that meeting? Days later, for the first time in its history, the young ones here don't know the politics of the political parties. Historically, the Samajwadi Party, which comes from a strain of Lohiyite politics, that in its history has implacably opposed the Congress Party, voted for the Congress Party. Because they belong to one of the brothers. Like everything else in the country belongs to one or the other brother. So why not the damn telecom portfolio? Now, what was Parliament discussing the dispute for? A whole session went in discussing a private family spat over a public natural resource called gas. That's a public-owned resource, for God's sake. Yeah? And they were deciding who should get it, at what rate, what is the deal. It's a public resource. Now, for me, if you are using your influence, money power and media power to get huge concessions in mining, in spectrum, in land deals, in private townships, if you're doing that, then from there to using the same methods to get portfolios in cabinet is not such a great leap. It's another step logically down that trajectory. It's nothing so dramatically new. So, and you look at it, I'm coming back repeatedly to the structural links of media and corporate world. Then we come to actually the subject of this time. Look at it. Today you take major financial or economic newspapers in this city. An assistant editor from one of these newspapers goes as PRO to a major corporation, maybe Glaxo or Burroughs Wellcome or wherever. I mean this. After 2 years in the job of PRO in that corporation, he comes back to the same newspaper as associate editor. Then, he or she goes to an even bigger corporate, maybe Dabhol or somewhere, as CPRO, Chief Public Relations Officer, or in many cases, as Chief Analyst, or in a few cases, as Chief Market Analyst, in a few cases, even as Business Manager, and might well return as Resident Editor. So you see, the boundaries are not blurred. There are no boundaries. The movement between corporate and media is seamless. And since they're doing the same thing in both places, it doesn't matter. There they're puffing companies, here they're puffing companies. So what's the bloody difference? Whether they're working as the PRO there or a resident PRO in the paper. But what's the difference? There is completely seamless movement between these two streams. And so there are very. Let me give you one example. I will defend the media against the charge that they are pro-corporate or pro-big business. The media are not pro-corporate or pro-big business. The media are big business. The media profitability margins of some of the media organizations are the envy of non-media corporations. Some of these guys have a license to print money. Okay? Now, the structural links between the media and the corporations are so strong. When you look at these business magazines, every now and then they print a power list of the top 50 companies. Please see how many media-related companies there are in that list. Some of them you don't know as media companies because their ownings and holdings are far beyond media. Some you don't recognize as media companies because they don't openly come out as the owners of media, but they are on the boards, they are controlling those papers. So, according to, see, what is the ABC of the Indian media today? Advertising, Bollywood, corporate power. And the three merge. The finest and most advanced example of this merger is the Indian Premier League, where everything has merged so finely. Look at it. Corporate bosses own teams. You know, for me, as a complete unapologetic cricket fanatic, it grieves me deeply to think that Sachin Tendulkar is not a human being, but he is on Mr. Mukesh Ambani's balance sheet, he is a capital asset. A national passion has been, you've privatized a passion. By the way, newspapers own IPL teams. The Deccan Chargers is owned by the Deccan Herald. Newspapers are media sponsors of IPL teams. The Telegraph is the media sponsor of the Kolkata Knight Riders. Individual journalists have been incorporated into the IPL Gush Brigade in the name of providing content for the website. For 2 months, they might be paid more than they are paid for 6 months in their regular job. So you have a complete congruence. The only time the media cover the problems in the IPL is when there are feuds within the IPL that bring it out. Otherwise, there is no negative coverage. There is no. Okay? That is a very, very important thing. However, I also will say, and this is for all my students who will be journalists, these links which reduce the space of good journalism so much are nonetheless very complex links. The links between the structures of a corporate world and the media are complex links. The links between the structures of politics and media are complex links, which means that there are still spaces which allow honest journalists to do work. The spaces are shrinking, but they exist. Also, one of the wonderful things about India is that the anarchistic nature of our politics brings out the best kept secrets in about 3 days. Okay. The Radia tapes have been out for 9 months, okay, looking for someone to use them. Right. And they are also they're coming out. Their outing is also the result of a corporate battle. That's also the result of a corporate battle. We don't know how many other tapes are waiting to come out or never going to come out. One corporate has used them against the others. So this too is happening. However much the space has been stifled, when you're a senior entrenched journalist, you still can choose. Do I want to be a stenographer or do I want to be a journalist? I think many journalists on the tapes made the wrong choice.